Let's taste some wine. So, the wine that I opened up tonight is something that you can't get. I'm sorry, but you can get the current vintage, which is 2018, which is fantastic. But I happen to have this sitting around the garage for the last 5 years, so I figured I'd just open it up. So this is actually 2011. Actually, I have a whole bunch of 2011, a little bit of 2010, a little bit of 2008. I maybe have some other vintages sitting around. I'm not sure anymore. But this is 2011 Erbaluce di Caluso from Cantina Favaro. And Erbaluce is the name of the grape. Caluso is the name of the area that it comes from. And Cantina Favaro is obviously the name of the producer. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is Erbaluce. Erbaluce. So Erbaluce means herb of light in Italian, and it is an indigenous grape variety that was almost lost until a program from the University of Torino, maybe. I don't know, maybe it could be some other university, but I'm going to say the University of Torino, decided to propagate about 200 different indigenous grape varieties, and they were looking for how much crop would a certain grape yield, if it would be disease resistant, and if the wine actually tasted good. And so out of those 200 different indigenous grape varieties, it turns out that Erbaluce, the herb of light, is one of those grapes that produces a really big crop, or a really strong crop. B is disease resistant somewhat, and C produces a wine that actually tastes good. So, and it actually tastes good forever, in my opinion, which is just my opinion, and I don't know anything about wine. But in my opinion, this is one of the few Italian whites that actually ages, and that can compete with international varieties on the world stage to be considered, a wine that can last for decades. And it's, in a vintage like 2011, of course, it's a warm vintage, so you get a little bit more alcohol, a little less acidity, and you can see the colors a little bit darker. But I think that's because of the 2011 vintage, and also that it's been hanging out in my garage for the last 5 years. But even in a warm vintage like 2011, the Cantina Favaro Erbaluce di Caluso is a wine that just tastes amazing. So this is from Piemonte, but again, this is from the Alta Piemonte, and it's really closer to Milan than it is to Torino. So it's really almost on the border. And just the smell, I mean, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's jasmine flower, which if I think in Italian that's gelsomino, but I always forget my Italian herbs and flowers. But it's jasmine and baked apples, and but then it's got a little spice to it too, and I just love it. God, the acidity is amazing for a wine that's from a really, really warm vintage. Plus, there's a little bit of tannin. This was fermented in wood cask, but older wood cask, and then put into stainless steel for, I don't know, I'm going to say 9 months, maybe. Could be. And then after a year and a half, it's released onto the market. But and it gets Tre Bicchieri in the Gambero Rosso, and it gets really good, ratings and stuff like that. But it's not really about the ratings. It's about how fantastic the wine is, and of course, how amazing the people are. It's Camillo Favaro with his dad Benito, and his mom and his sister, and everyone, and Camillo's wife Antonella, and they just they make they're just really, really fantastic people, and they make this wine that is almost out of time. It's really, truly a wine that, when you taste it, you have no idea what it is. I mean, I know what it is because I've tasted it so often over the last 12 years, and I can pick it out of any lineup, Erbaluce. And the thing about the Cantina Favaro Erbaluce is that there's other people who make Erbaluce, but no one makes it like Cantina Favaro. So, anyways, so this is something you can't get. 2011 Cantina Favaro Erbaluce di Caluso. Le Chiusure. It actually has its own little place name thrown in. But you can get the 2018. So, DM me if you want to get that. Or I actually don't know what that means because no one's ever actually done that. But you can find it. Send me a message. And as always, stay safe. Stay home, at least for a little while longer. And hopefully, if everyone kind of does what they're supposed to, we can all get through this together. So take care.